Genesis 41. Wayahi mikesh shanataim yamim. And it was from the end of 2 years of days. Uparo holem. And Paro was dreaming. Wihine omed al hayor. And behold, standing upon the Nile, or the river. Wihine min hayor olot sheva parot. Yopot mara uberiot bashar. And behold, from the Nile were coming up 7 cows, beautiful of appearance and fat of flesh. Watirana bahu. And they were feeding among the papyrus or reeds. Wihine sheva parot acherot olot achrehen min hayor raot mara udakot bashar. And behold, 7 cows, 7 other cows, coming up after them from the Nile. Evil of appearance, bad of appearance, that is, and thin of flesh. وَتَعَمُدْنَا إِثْ الْحَبَّارُوتِ عَلَى الشَّفَةِ حَيَّورِ. And they stood beside the cows on the lip of the Nile. وَتُوكَلْنَا حَبَّارُوتِ رَعُوتِ حَمَّرَهَا وَذَقُوتِ حَبَّاشَار. Et sheva haparot yopot hamar v'habariot. And the cows evil of appearance and thin of flesh ate up the 7 cows beautiful of appearance and fat. Wayi kash Paro, and Paro awoke. Wayishan, Wayahalom, Thenith, and he slept, and he dreamed a second time. Wihine Sheva Shibolim, Olot Bekan Ehad. And behold, 7 ears coming up in one stalk. Periot v'tovot, fat and good. Wihine sheva shibolim takot ushadufot qadim. And behold, 7 ears thin and blighted of the east wind. Thomhot acharehen, sprouting up after them. Wativela'na hashibolim hadakot. Et sheva hashibolim habariot wahamaleot. And the thin ears ate up, swallowed up the 7 ears, the 7 fat and full ears. Did I read it? وَاتِّبْلَعْنَا هَشِّبُّلِيمَ هَدَّقُوتِ et sheba hashibolim habariot wahamaleot. And the thin ears swallowed up the 7 fat and full ears. Wayiqath Paro wihine halom. And Paro awoke, and behold, a dream. Wayahya babokar watipa amruho. And it was in the morning. His spirit was impelled. ويشلح ويقرأ كل حرة من مصريم. And he sent and he called all the magicians of Egypt كل حكامها and all its wise men. ويسبر فرعون لهم حلمه. And Paro recounted to them the dream. And there was not them an interpreter for Paro. ويدبر شر همشقيم Paro le'amor hatai ani madhakir hayom. And the prince of the butlers worded with Paro, saying, my sin I am causing to remember, or I remember today. Paro Paro was angry upon his servants. And he gave me into a ward. The house of the prince of the guards. Me and the prince of the bakers. وَالنَّحْلَمَا حَلَوْمَ بَلَيْلَ إِحَادْ أَنِيوَاهُ. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. Each like the interpretation of his dream, we dreamed. وثام إتانو نغر عبري عبد الشر الطباحيم. And there with us was a lad, an Ivri, a Hebrew, a servant to the chief or prince of the guards. One saperlo, waifitorlanu, et halomotenu. And we recounted to him, and he interpreted for us our dreams. Ishakahalomo patar. He interpreted for a man according to his dream. And it was like what he interpreted for us, thus it became. Me, he returned upon my stand, and he hanged. ويشلح Paro ويقره et Yosef. And Paro sent, and he called Yosef. ويرثه من habor. And he made him run from the pit. ويغلح ويحلف شملوتايو. And he shaved and he changed his clothes. Wayavo el Paro. And he came to Paro. Wayomer Paro el Yosef. And Paro said to Yosef, Halom halamati. I dreamed a dream. And there is no interpreter of it. وهني شمعتي عليك الأمور. And I have heard about thee, saying, Tishma halom lipetorohoto, saying, thou hearest a dream to interpret it. وَيَغَنَ Yosef et Paro, and Yosef responded to Paro, Lehemor, saying, Bil'adi, not in me, Elohim, Yagane, et Shalom Paro, God shall answer the peace of Paro. وَيَدَبَّرَ Paro, Elo Yosef, and Paro worded to Yosef, Bahalomi hinneni omed al shafat hayor. In my dream, behold me standing on the lip of the Nile. V'hinne min hayor olot sheva parot. And behold, from the Nile come up 7 cows, Beriot Bashar, Weapot Tohar, fat of flesh and beautiful of appearance. Watirna Bahu, and they feed in the rushes, among the rushes. Wihinne Sheba Parot Acherot Olot Acherehen. And behold, 7 other cows coming up after them. Dalot waraot tohar mod warakot bashar. Thin and bad of appearance, exceedingly bad, and lean of flesh, poor and bad of appearance, exceedingly, and lean of flesh. Lo raiti kahenna b'kol eretz Misraim la. I had not seen like such in all the land of Mithraim for the badness. Watohakalna haparot harakot waharaot et sheba haparot haryeshonot habriot, and the thin and bad ones, the thin and bad cows ate up the 7 first fat cows. Watabona el kirbena velohanoda akibahu el kirbena. And they came into their midst, and it was not known that they came to their midst. ومرهم راء كاتر بتهلا, and their appearance was bad, just like in the beginning. وَيِقَاث, and I awoke. وَيَرْ بَحَلُومِي, and I saw in my dream, وَهِنَّ شَبَعَ شِبُّلِيمِ, and behold, 7 ears, olot b'kane ehad, coming up in one stalk, meleot v'tobot, full and good. V'hinne sheva shibbolim, thenumot dakot, shadupot qadim, dried up and thin and blighted of the east wind. Thomehot acharehem, sprouting up after them. Watibla'na hashibbolim haddakot, and the thin ears swallowed up at the sheba hashibbolim Hatobot, the 7 good ears. Wahomar el haratumim, when magidali. And I said to the magicians, and there was not one telling me, Wayomer Yosef el Parao. And Yosef said to Parao, Halom Parao, Ehadhu. The dream of Parao, it is one. Et atraha Elohim osha higid le Parao. What God is doing, He has told to Parao. Sheva parot hatovot sheva ashanim henna. 7 good cows, the 7 good cows, they are 7 years. Sheva hashibolim hatovot sheva ashanim henna. And 7 good ears are 7, they are 7 years. Halom ehadahu. It is one dream. Sheva haparot harakot waharaot haolot achrehem. Sheva shanim henna. Sheva hashibolim harekot. Shedupot hakadim. Yehu sheva shene ragab. And the 7 lean cows and bad ones, 7 lean and bad cows, coming up after them, 7 years they are, and the 7 ears, empty and blighted of the east wind, they shall be 7 years of famine. Hu hadabar atardibarti el parao. It is the word which I said, or I worded to Parao. Atraha Elohim osha haraha et Parao. What the God is doing, He hath made Parao to see. Hinne sheva ashanim baot. Behold, 7 years are coming. Shava agadol b'kol hersh Mithraim. A great satiety, plenty in all the land of Mithraim. Waqamu sheva shene ragab. And 7 years of famine shall arise, acharehem, after them, v'nishkach kol hashava behersh Mithraim, and all the satiety, all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Mithraim. V'chila haragab, et harash. And the famine shall finish off the land, consume the land. V'lo yiwada hashaba barsh mipnei haragab hahu acharehen. And the satiety in the land shall not be known from before the faces of the famine, of that famine, after thus. Ki kavedhu mod, because it shall be excessively heavy. Wa'al hishanot hahalom el parao pa'amayim. And on account of the doubling or the changing of the dream to Paro, 2 times. Ki nakon hadavar me'im ha-Elohim. That the word is established from with the God. Umamaher ha-Elohim la'ashoto. And the God is making haste to effectuate it. Wa'ata yereh Paro. And now let Paro see Ishanabon wahacham, a man understanding and wise. We'eshitehu aleherish Mizraim, and let him set him over the land of Mizraim. Yasha Parao ويفقد بقيديم على هارش. Let Paro effectuate and let him muster musterers or overseers over the land. وخمش at the Arshab Mizraim, and let him fifth the land of Mizraim, or take up the 5th part of it. B'sheba shene hashaba, in the 7 years of the plenty or satiety. ويقبثوا את כל האוכל השנים הטובות, and let them gather all food of the good years. Habaot ha'ele, these ones coming. ويثبروا bar, and let them heap up grain. Tahat yad Paro, under the hand of Paro. Ochel be'arim, food in the cities. Washamaru, and let them keep it. Wahaya ha'ochel lepiqadon, and the food shall be for a mustard thing, a deposit. La'arech, for the land. L'sheva shenei haragab, for the 7 years of the famine. Ataretihayena be'erish Mizraim, that shall be in the land of Mizraim. V'lo hetikaret ha'arish baragab, and the land shall not be cut off by the famine, in the famine. Wayit abhadavar be'ene Paro, and the word was good in the eyes of Paro, ube'ene kol abadai, and in the eyes of all his servants. Wayomer Paro ele abadai, and Paro said to his servants, Hanimataha kad Isha atara ruha Elohim bo. Is it that we shall find like this a man who the Spirit of God's or God is in him? Wayomer Paro ele Yosef, and Paro said to Yosef, Achare hodi Elohim otaka et kol dot en navon wahakam kamocha. After God hath made thee to know all this, there is no one understanding and wise like thee. Ata tihye alabeti, thou shalt be over my house. Wa'alapika yishak kol ammi, and upon thy mouth all my people shall kiss. Rak hakise egedala mimmerka, only the throne I shall be greater than thee. Wayomer Paro el Yosef, and Paro said to Yosef, Rehe na tati hotaka ala kol hersh Misraim. See, I have given thee over all the land of Misraim. وياسر Paro et tabato me al yado. And Paro removed his signet from on his hand. ويتنهوتاه على يد Yosef, and he gave it upon the hand of Yosef. ويلبشه بغد شش, and he clothed him in garments of linen. وياشم ربيد الذهب على ثواره, and he set a chain of gold, the chain of the gold, upon his neck. It says the chain of the gold, so apparently there was a known chain of gold. Maybe it was associated with rulership. Or maybe it was Pharaoh's chain of gold. But it was a particular chain of gold, and he put it on the neck of Yosef. ويركبه بمركبة حمشنا أترلو, and he made him ride in the chariot, the second chariot which was his. ويقره لفانه أبريك, and they called before him Abrek, which may mean bow the knee. وناتو نهوتو على كل هرش مصرايم, to give him over all the land of Misraim. ويؤمر Paro el Yosef, and Paro said to Yosef, Ani Paro, I am Paro, وبالعادك لو يريم هيش את ידו ואת רגלו בכל ארץ מצרים. And apart from thee, a man shall not lift his hand or his foot in all the land of Misraim. ويقره Paro شم يوسف صافنة بعنيح ويتبعنيح ويتن له את אסנת בת פוטיפר הכהן להתha. And Paro called the name of Yosef Zaphanat Pa'aneh, and he gave to him Asenat, the daughter of Potiphera, the priest of On, for a woman. ويشة Yosef على Misraim, and Yosef went out over the land of Misraim. ويوسف بن ثلاثي مشانا بعمدو لفني Paro ملك Misraim. And Yosef was a son of 30 years in his standing before Paro, the king of Misraim. ويشة Yosef milifne Paro, and Yosef went out from before Paro. ويعبر بكل أرش Misraim, and he passed through in all the land of Misraim. وتعش هارش بشبع السنة هشابع لقماثيم, and the earth effectuated or produced in the 7 years of the plenty 4 fistfuls. ويقبض את כל אוכל 7 שנים התרחዩ בארץ מצרים. And he gathered all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Misraim. ويتن أوكل بعاريم, and he set food, or he gave food in the cities. The food of the field of the city, which is around it, he gave in its midst, in the midst of the city. In the midst of the city, the fruit of the field thereof. ויסבור יוסף בר כחול הים הרבה מאוד. And Yosef heaped up grain like the sand of the sea, a, a very great abundance. Ad ki hadal lisapor, ki en misapar, until that he ceased to number, because there was no counting it. There was no number. Ule Yosef yulad Shenevanim, Senevanim, Betermatavo, Shenat Harab. And to Yosef was begotten 2 sons, whilst yet the year of the famine had not come. Atrayalada lo asanat Batapotifera kohenon, which Asenat, the daughter of Potiphera, the priest of On, bare for him. Vayikra Yosef et Shem Habbakor Menashe. And Yosef called the name of the firstborn Menashe, ki nashani Elohim et kol amali ve et kol bet abi. For God hath made me forget all my toil and all the house of my father. Ve'et Shem Hatheni Kara Ephraim. And the name of the second he called Ephraim, ki hiperani Elohim be'eresh onayi, because God hath made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. Vatikalena sheva shene hashaba. Vatikalena sheva shene hashaba. And the 7 years of the plenty, of the satiety, finished. Atrahaya be'eresh Mithraim, which were in the land of Mithraim. Vatihilna sheva shene haragab. And the 7 years of the famine began, lavo, to come, Katarhamar Yosef, like what Yosef had said. Vayahiragab b'kol harashot, ub'kol eresh Mithraim hayalahem. And famine was in all the lands, and in all the land of Mithraim there was bread. Vatirgab kol eresh Mithraim, and all the land of Mithraim was famished. وَيَسْتَعَقْ هَعَامْ el-Para'o la-lahem. And the people cried out to Para'o for bread. وَيُمَرْ Para'o l'kol Mithraim l'ku hel Yosef. And Para'o said to all Mithraim, go ye to Yosef. Atar Yomar lakem ta'ashu. Whatever he says to you, effectuate ye. Do ye. وَحَرَّغَ بَهَايَا عَلَى كُلِّ بْنِي هَارِشْ. and the famine was over all the faces of the earth. ويفتح يوسف كل أترباهن باهم ويشبر لمثريم. And Yosef opened all which was for them, and he sold to the Mithrim. ويحزق harab beresht Mithraim. And the famine was strong, mighty, grasping in the land of Mithraim. وكل هارش باهو Mithraim Lishabora El Yosef. And all the earth, all the land came toward Mithraim, to Mithraim, to buy grain to Yosef. Ki hazak harab b'kol haaretz, because the famine was mighty in all the earth.